gentlemen, welcome back to the MaxBet podcast, a podcast dedicated to gaming.
We're your hosts. I'm here with Landon Michael Jones, and I'm Mike McKiskey. Let's get started.
Let's roll. We are live.
We back, buddy. How are you?
You're back from San Diego.
I'm back
or not
from
San Diego. It was in LA this year.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yes, so that leads into some fun Disney stories. But it was a good show.
You went to Disney after?
On
I feel like
Friday,
you and every other family.
Wasn't that crowded? I
Really?
mean, I didn't see anybody from gaming. I heard a few like Brett Kohlberg's running around. So there's people that were in the park, but I didn't run into them. But yeah, it was actually a nice day to go. No lines really.
Do you miss San Diego?
I prefer when the Indian gaming trade shows at in San Diego. It's just more fun after.
Yeah.
Right? Because the problem is like if you don't make dinner plans and you're in San Diego, you go, what do you want to do? I don't know. There's 5,000 bars and restaurants to choose from. There you're like, well, let's go to a chain. Let's drive a little ways. It's just not as fun. I prefer.
It was weird. This is the first IGA I haven't gone to in like, I think 13 years.
Boom.
And
we're just getting
just
checks
seeing all the LinkedIns
yeah.
of people at IGA,
Yeah.
it's like, you kind of miss it, but I don't have any travel customers, so made sense for me not to be there.
Yeah, I mean, look, we showed well, so the LNW display was nice.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good tables product. The Dragon Train is rolling. That much is clear.
Yeah.
So you're cooking there, and then I think, but it was good. I mean, just what you think, right? It's good to see all the guys, all the customers, right, that you see, and then all the vendor, the competitors that you talk to and you're friends with. So.
And Yamava had their own booth. Did I see that correctly? Is that like the first time that has happened?
I don't know if it's first time. We'd have to ask Peter and those guys, but it was. They did have their own booth. Seemed like it was kind of a social thing. I didn't go get the whatever their spiel was, but had an open bar. So a lot of people were like, "Hey, Yavama's got the bar open," and I'm like, "Of course they do." That's shout out to Peter for taking care of the people there. But yeah, no, it's a good time. Yeah, so they hooked that up.
So outside of L&W, I mean, we have a lot of good games right now. This is not a plug right now,
okay.
but we do.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
Sales.
Hammer
so
it.
it's kind of nice to be in sales right now when you have good product. What was your biggest takeaway from IGA outside of the L&W booth?
Man, I just think it's good to be in gaming right now. Like, it just feels like there's a lot of energy. Like, even, they had it kind of split the show. So, like, in Anaheim, there's like a weird, like, brick wall almost down the middle. Yeah. So, you're like on one half or the other. And it just seemed like both sides had a lot of buzz. Even the smaller, not even smaller manufacturers, like little two table, table and two chair type of booths had a lot of people in them. It just seemed like there's a lot of interest, a lot of people trying to, do things, invest in the future, modernize, so to speak. So,
it was a busy show.
Busy in terms of the energy, yeah. I think there was actually less people. I think people go more when it's in San Diego. Like it's just an easier, I'm going to fly down there, drive, whatever. Yep. Right. So, but yeah, just a busy, good energy vibe.
So Disneyland, what was the story from Disneyland?
Oh, it was good. I hadn't been there in probably 20 plus years, right? Since I was a kid, but I'm laughing, right? So my oldest, right? She's 7. She's the logical one. And so she's kind of like, well, Dad, like on the way over, she's like, Dad, they're not real characters, right? They're just people in suits. And I'm like, so I don't lie. I don't lie to her. I'm like, that's right. I go, but hey, we're going with kids younger than you. Like, just keep that between us. Like, I don't want you to. And she's like, no, it's fine. And so I'm like, all right, well, we'll see how this goes. So I told her, I was like, listen, if you don't want to do the photos, you don't have to. Like, now that it's just some guy in a suit, like, I'm not going to force you to go like hug this guy's leg or whatever. And so sure enough, we get in. As soon as she sees Minnie, she's like, Minnie, what's up? That completely forgets that she's in, real world land. So it was just funny. I was like, all right, perfect. The magic is real. So you walk in. And then we just got lucky, man. Like, and it's, we're Legoland people normally just by age. And so Disney's cool because a lot of the rides, even I can ride. Like, I can ride most of the Legoland rides, but some of them get a little tight. Here, it's like they're made for adults.
I was going to say, you have the opposite effect that I had. Like, you are not tall enough to ride the ride. You are actually like too big to ride the ride. Like, sir, we don't want to break this.
You take your giant self out of the line. Yeah, there was only like one ride. It was like in Toontown. It was not designed for adults anyway. That I was like, I'm going to skip this one. But otherwise, it was all good, man. But yeah, it was fun. It's just good. It's just good to interweave the two, right? Because sometimes, I mean, you know how it is selling. You're traveling all the time. You'll see this more as Maddox grows up. But like, it's a hard balance, right? You got to work hard to stay ahead of it. But then at the same time, you got to try to prioritize. I want to be present. You don't want to be some absentee dad, right? So you go, well, how do, and so this being able to kind of merge both where they come right as the show ends and merge Disney into is good. It's a good week for both things.
Being present is huge, right? And that's something that I'm learning now. It's like, you don't realize how much you're on your phone. And when your child's there just sitting, you're like, I have this amazing moment to just sit here and he can't do anything right now. He just blah, blah, blah. And he kind of throws his arm. But it's like I'm only going to get this once. So try to be present and not have your phone there. I took the week off while everyone was at IGA because I knew, customers, it kind of shut down, right? So I figured it'd be a good time It's the first time I took off since Maddox was born. It was pretty fun. We went up to Zion and Sand Hollow and St. George. So it's nice to get away, and it's good to be back.
Yeah. Boom. How about that?
Heck yeah. So today we have a special guest coming in.
Yeah.
Jon Reuben.
Gifting.
Gift&Go. He's the CEO of Gift&Go. We're going to talk about gifting.
We learned about the power of gifting. I don't know if we ever did on the show, but just when we were kind of out doing our own thing in the world, it became, we met some guys in the gift side.
Yeah.
And you don't appreciate, I don't think, how big a business it is, how much
Huge
logistics
business.
there are. Because when you think about it as a player, right? And I go to stations here locally, like, oh, you're going to get a free anything.
Yeah.
T-shirt, quesadilla maker, Tupperware, cookware set, whatever it is, right? Set of steak knives. Like it's, you go, cool. And then you would just expect that when you show up with your card, you're going to go and they're going to give you the thing. But you go, there's thousands of you and the logistics on that. And some, it's pretty wild to think,
It's so fun to see the gift. There's a line and they're like, what is this line for? Like, oh, they're giving away free I won t-shirts.
Well, I still tell the story. So like my intro to real, the power of gifting. So we were at Hoosier Park Casinos in Indiana. And so I call that out specifically because of the giveaway. So the giveaway was 2 beach chairs and 2 beach towels. I don't know the closest beach to Hoosier Park, Indiana. I can't imagine it's close by. The line was 200 people deep, right? And you just got these, you're going, what are you not even going to sit on these chairs? Like, but you want them because you earned them and they're yours and you will stand there and wait as long as it takes. And that was a pretty wild intro to go, oh, they care. The gifts matter. They probably drive.
Well, that's got to be hard, right? Because you have such a big age group. So you look at people from that are like 21 to 35 and then 35 to 55.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're like, I don't think the 21-year-old wants a Tupperware set. Like he's not too concerned.
What gift would make both Landon and Landon's grandma equally excited to stand in line? That's probably a challenge. Yeah.
What would that be?
We'll find out. Well, now, I mean, we'll see.
Now we're going to definitely ask that question.
Now we have to go. Like, how do you suss that? So, what are the guys? Jon
Reuben. I think Jon is going to be by himself. But I guess we'll find out.
Maybe he brings a friend. We'll find out.
All right.
Let's get to it.
Rock and roll. Well, we didn't really have a pre-call on this, a setup, and we like to do it that way because in the past, it's more fun to kind of just talk. So we're just going to jump into this episode. Everybody, welcome to the MaxBet podcast. We have Jon Reuben here and Joe Hall, CEO, co-founders, both CEO, co-founders of Gift&Go, which is a European company. Am I correct? You started in Europe, but now
just let them talk.
Now you're into North America. So global. I'm just going to shut up and we're going to ask you, what is Gift&Go?
Okay. You want to start? He's prepped this. He
prepped this one?
He's the overview guy. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Gift&Go is a gifting technology company. Yep. We established it 9 years ago, fundamentally in partnership or powered by Amazon. The idea was to create a self-serve marketing platform primarily for casino marketing teams to use, where they can build out promotions, whether it's continuity or just on-the-spot gifting promotions, utilizing the vast quality and quantity of Amazon's product catalog, but also giving them the tools technically to build promotions themselves in a self-serve way and execute. That's where the concept kind of started, was to build out this platform. 9 years later, we've evolved into numerous different places, form factors. Our tech isn't just kind of online. Our tech is integrated into slot machines, kiosks, points of sale, the TV room in the hotel when you come and check in, you name it. So it's kind of expanded out from where it was.
He has practiced that. I mean, that was perfect. That is like the most perfect elevator pitch.
Man, that's it.
Ever. And Mike and I were discussing right before you gentlemen came in. It's like, because we've seen some other gifting companies and you walk in, they have this massive showroom, and then you've got like the one room that caters to the 60 and 80. You've got the one room that caters from the 40 to 60. Like
the single dude, the married couple. Like, we don't all want quesadilla makers here, guys. Like, there's got to be some rhythm to it. Yeah. So I guess it seems like you looked at that and said, there's got to be a better way, and hence Gift&Go. Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's, the challenge was always that when we would go into a casino and we would see this, it's a one size fits all. Yeah. Right. Here's the gift on a Tuesday. It's a teapot set, right? A crock pot. And, we were like, this is crazy. Like, not everyone can want this product. And, when we built this in Europe, it was all about technology. So, the online world was so much further ahead, so we were integrated with systems which were all about how you reward the customer. So, you know, the triggers that came in. So with Playtech, we were always looking at how we could be really efficient. But my world when I started was in the same as these promotion companies, right? I grew up in this world. I was in manufacturing in the Far East. I was looking at product, buying it in, selling to companies. And, you know, I started, you know, from the days of poker. So I used to love playing poker. We played together, and we played in a local community. And the guys would say to us, like, hey, you know, we should have our own poker table with our branding on it. We should have our T-shirts and playing cards. And because I was manufacturing product in China, they were like, let's go do it. Yeah. So we went and we started making these little card protectors, little medallions that you put on top of the cards. And we would go to the Grosvenor Casino in London. And I went in one day and we were playing a Sunday poker tournament. And the card room manager came along and he was like, hey, where do you get that from? And I was like, I made it. Yeah. And he was like, no way. He was like, I want one. And I was like, cool. Like, and he's like, no. I want to give them away. So I was like, well, okay, how many you want? He was like, oh, I'll take 5,000. And I was like,
just a couple. I was like, oh, let me get your number.
Yeah. And he was like, no, I'm serious. And so he was like, how much they cost? I was like, $5. He was like, yeah, cool. I was like trying to do the math, and I was like, $5. You know, they cost me like $1 from China. I was like, this is great. So I started, and that's how it started. I started manufacturing product for all the poker companies. I was doing Poker Stars, Full Tilt, 888. Yeah. And they were making all their brand merch, the hoodies, the player packs. And then what happened is the customers started to say, like, look, I want you to send them to my players. And I was like, what do you mean?
I think that was the key moment, like kind of recognizing why do they need so many units? Why do you need 5,000 units? Like, where are they going to? And what had actually happened is some of the really early online operators had built shops. And those shops, every time you played a hand of poker, you get a point, and you can now purchase items for your points. So the poker online operators are thinking they want to fill their shop with all these different items. We kind of come along at that time with the merchandising experience, but also with a thought of how do we play on the tech side? Because we could build a shop, and we could then sell that shop concept to other operators. And I feel like that's really where our tech journey started. Like that was the embryonic phase.
Yeah. So we were the guys running the Full Tilt store.
That's awesome.
So, and it started there, and it built from there. And then 888 was the first European big online room that came to me and was like, you know what we want? We don't want brand merchandise now. We want iPads.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? They were like, yeah. We want like 1,000 of them.
Can't make those in China for $1.
I was, and you know the funny thing? I was like, 1,000 iPads. So I was like, I can do this. So I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Apple. And Apple were like, nope. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? No. I was like, I'm going to be the biggest customer. They were like, nope.
Not even close.
And this is how it evolved. And it kept growing, and we kept building, working on technology and trying to implement. And then it was like, okay, you know, where does this go? Europe was kind of like, it didn't look as good as the US. And the thing is, in Europe, we don't gift in the same way. We don't have the same gifting culture. You know, everything was about trigger-based systems. It was like the customer has to do this before they get that.
Right.
And then, you know, it was like, okay,
it's very impersonal as well, right? Everything's online. There's no coming to the players club and you know Susan who's always there. Like there's no interaction. It's like very sterile. Do this, and get this action at the end.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the US. So came to the US and everyone laughed. They were like,
they laughed at you. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, no way. They were like, we have tons of people that do this for us. We don't need you to do this.
When was this? It was like 2012.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, it was early days, and I went and I partnered up with a company. I took a little space in his office, and he was like the existing providers that we see every day today. You know that
like an Imagine This,
or a Market Smart, these types of people. And I said to him, listen, this is what I want to do, and he was like, no, it's never going to work. And I was like, listen, I need your help. I was like, listen, I'll sell you equity in the business. Yeah. And he was like, no. And I was like, I promise you it will work. And he was like, no. And I remember going out, I pitched for an MGM event, and I got all the way down to the final two. And then I lost it. And I came back and I was just like, this is
They tell you why? Like, what was the reason
what they said to me is they said, you're not big enough. You don't have a big enough US footprint, right? We want companies who are big and strong. And I came back and I said to Joe, like, listen, unless we come back with something that really is going to, rain on everyone's parade. I'm like, we're never going to win. And that's when it started. So we rang Amazon.
I think the penny dropped, I think, at that stage where we couldn't just be like the other merchandise companies in the US, right? These businesses have been doing their thing. Imagine this, and all these guys have been doing their thing for all this time, selling product. We kind of had these conversations and came to the point where we have to sell technology. The product is actually ancillary. If we can build a tech product that can integrate deeply into what the casinos are doing, it doesn't really matter what the product is, like whether it's a toaster, a bagel slicer, whatever your budget level is. Sure. Because if you're coming in and you're sitting on machine and you're doing the right level of activity, overall the coin-in's going to be going up. Like there are other metrics that we're going to prove through our tech that make the casino more money. Forget about the cost of the bagel slicer for 1 second. It doesn't matter if it's $3, $4, $5, because your players are going to be making more if this tech play works. And again, a lot of people laughed, said, technically it's not possible. Infrastructure is not possible. The Amazon piece isn't possible. But that was really like the core idea. We want to be tech. We don't want to be like the other toaster sellers.
Yeah, but did it start that way? Because I'm hearing you, what it started with was you were like the other toaster sellers. You're like, look, we're going to send you 5,000 poker chip protectors and do with them what you will. I don't care. You could give them away. You could throw them in the river. Who cares? And then that evolved. But then there was a moment, it sounds like, where you said, well, wait a minute. This online guy wants it to his house. Maybe everybody wants it to their house, right?
100%.
Because that is always the thing I laugh about. Like when we go, because we live here in Vegas, so I see Stacia. Stacia is great. They give away stuff all the time. But they often give away big stuff. You said somebody's a crock pot, cookware, and you go, you got these guys that maybe win 2. So these guys are lugging two crock pots through the casino, stopping to play the game, and then going about. And I'm like, I bet that guy would rather just show up at his house.
But it's amazing. When we talk to casinos, they say that that's a metric that they like. Hey, we want them to walk around the casino with this box. And I'm like,
maybe, yeah.
And I'm
Our
like,
answer was, what do you do when you give away knife sets? Well, we let them walk around.
Security's on high alert.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy, isn't it? Because we said to all the casinos, but I don't understand. Like the mentality of a consumer today is like, I don't want to go to the store. I just want to go on Amazon and order it. And the funny thing, going back to what Joe was saying about technology, is every year we would exhibit at ICE, right? Like the G2E equivalent in Europe. And Light and Wonder was the stand, or then it was Side Games was the stand in front of us. And they were selling slot machines. And Joe, we were sitting there and we were just like, hey, why don't we just put on a slot machine? Like that's cool. Like,
that's where they're earning the points anyway.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool. And so we called the guys over from Light and Wonder and we're like, hey, Epiphany, like on the slot machine. And they were like, what? And I have to tell you, right, the kudos to the guys at SG, right? We hammered them. Come on, guys. And they were like, okay, we think this might work, right? Or at least we could try it. And it took us a couple of years to get it had to go all the way from lower to all the way up to the point where they were like, okay, we're going to do this. And then the big tipping point for us was Seminole. That was the customer that they were really trying to engage in this kind of new technology. And they kind of went all in and said like, okay, we're gonna do this. And that was the turning point in the US for us. Once Jim Allen came out and said, this is the best product I've seen in the last however many years.
Let's explain. Let's go back for a minute and explain kind of how it works, because we kind of understand the online model, right? I'm a poker player online. I play online slots. I go into this online store that you guys host and create. I can pick a product. Land-based works a little differently, right? Like the way that I look at gifting, you're trying to bring in players on slow days, like times that you're less, busy, and you're bringing a bunch of players in to try to increase your average daily win, right? How does that work with an online store? Are you guys still bringing the players in?
So think of it less as an online store and more as a delivery mechanic. Okay. Right? So the idea is come to property in the same way that you would.
Right.
But you don't need to queue up at the player's desk.
Yeah.
You just need to card in.
Okay.
And once you card in, we'll read the data, and then we'll see if you're available to have a gift.
Yes, you still have to go there to qualify.
I want to explain this.
You still have to do all of the same qualification mechanic, but our technology talks to the property. And, at that point that you're eligible, you'll see it directly on the slot.
So, like, normally in the pattern that's been going on for 25 odd years is You get a mail piece through your door.
Yep.
Come to the property on Friday because it's toaster day.
Yeah,
it's
right.
always toaster day in my world.
Yeah, toasters, bagels. Like starting to see your program here, Joe. Yeah.
People ask me, "What do you do?" I just say we sell
Toasted.
toasters. So they get a piece of mail through the door. Come to the property on Friday. It's toaster day. So you get in your car, you drive to the property. What normally had happened up until us was the property have pre-purchased 5,000 toasters.
Yeah.
They've been working on this toaster order for 3 months with another merchandise company. They've come on a boat from China. They may arrive on time, they may not. There's a whole load of different factors, but essentially the toasters have been ordered in bulk in advance. The property have guessed, this is how many we think we need. This is how many we think, how many guests are going to come in. They're unloaded. They're kept in a storage area. Most casinos have warehouses. That's ridiculous, right? Why have they got warehouses?
Yeah.
So they take the toasters on like a pallet truck. They wheel it over the lovely marble floor, destroying all of it through the casino, and they make 5,000 people wait in a line, individually come to the player's card desk, player card, ID, checked off a list. Here's your toaster. Now you've got an option. Do you go to your car, put it in the trunk and drive home, or do you slap it over to your favorite game and kind of put it between your legs and start playing?
Yeah.
So this has been going on for ages and ages and ages. We came along and said, that's ridiculous. Integrate it into the machine. So the education now for the guest is come into property on that day. They still get the mail piece through their door because they love that. They come into the property, they sit on the machine, player card goes in, bloop, the toasters are on the screen in front of them. And not just one, not the one that they would have had in the past that's been ordered 3,000. There may be 20 different toasters. There can be however many the property wants to show them. They can scroll through dynamically on the screen, live content that's coming through, read the description, see the colors, tap the one they want, their address appears. Is this your correct address? Yes, it is. One more tap, it gets delivered to your house the next day.
This is like the second elevator pitch that I'm like, I thought we were done with the elevator. Like, I want to hire Joe.
This whole thing is elevators.
This whole thing is
great.
You're great.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so that all makes sense convenient. That resonates with me. And maybe tying it back to you, maybe that's where Jim Allen, who's made a lot of people's life better, I would say, is probably saying the same thing, going, yeah, that's just convenient, right? So that's probably what they're resonating with. Here's a question we had earlier. It was like, how, and maybe it's for the marketing team, I don't know how much influence you have here, but it's like to say, how do you pick that a toaster is going to satisfy the 5,000 people, right? So does this platform offer a choice now?
Yeah.
So can I have a toaster or a bagel slicer to just pick on Joe's example?
You could go, like the theme of the promo could be homeware or kitchen goods. You may have the toaster, the bagel slicer,
the KitchenAid mixer or something. The air fryer. Yeah, that's a premium.
Now we're talking high level
players.
players. But the beauty of having a partner like Amazon and having 100 million different products is there's something available for everyone at every budget. When a casino marketing team, and we've seen other ones say like, oh, we've got a Whitney Houston promotion, or we have a new slot that is, has this theme. We can build a promo in 2 seconds, have loads of different products in there that relate or resonate to the audience that are going to be playing it and make it a success. Whereas our competitors don't. So our language is very different to, we don't drive into places and say, take a look at our truck, there's loads of toasters. It's just a slightly different.
And I think it's really important, right? Something I say to all of the casinos is, we don't sell you product, right? The promotion companies sell you product. That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
They look at the product. This has got good margin. I'm going to sell you this. That's not what we do. We say to you, Amazon is your ecosystem. Go pick what you want. I'm not, I don't get paid by, Amazon to sell you a product, right? The idea is you have freedom of choice, and so does the customer. And so it's different, right? The way that we see it is different because ultimately the promotion companies tend to look at products with the highest margin. If you look at the way that the model has worked for many years, it's bring it in from China, bring it in cheap,
slap a logo on it.
Slap a logo on it and tell a customer, hey, you can have this. But $15, $20, it's not a high amount of money to invest, when you think about the value of the product that you get, right? So our job is to make it as streamlined as possible, as cost efficient as possible, and give them the maximum value back to the customer. Yeah. If we see it all the time. If customers say it's great, the product lives on. Yeah. If customers don't like it, they won't use it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then it feels like, and then moving away from the logos makes sense. And what I was going to say is it seems like you're really selling an experience.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is we're just going to make the gifting experience easier for the pallet jack guy, the ladies that have to staff that table generally, all the players, right? It's just much seamless. And to your point, I don't care what you buy.
Yeah. And then there's the whole other piece, right? And Joe can talk more about this, but then there's post-analytics, data, player tracking. It's, we're actually a technology business.
Yeah.
So we're bringing more up-to-date technology to actually that part of rewarding.
So what kind of data are you pulling out of this thing, right? So it's obviously more than just quantities.
Going back to your point, we're trying to say, what's the best product for Sally, who's 80, who comes every Tuesday? Hey, she already has a crock pot in blue.
Yeah, she got it last time we did this. Yeah,
exactly. So why are we gonna show Sally the crock pot again? The technology play means we become smarter, and smarter choices mean we're more accurate. And with more accurate information, we see more playthrough.
And I'm assuming then there's a way to remember their choices. So if this player, and we'll pick on Sally, picked the blue crock pot last month in the thing, and now she's eligible for it again, you're going, she's not going to want it again.
Yeah, and not to bring up the crazy word of AI.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sure everyone talks about it. But, tracking of choice and understanding, smart choices and what they want, this is the future.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Utopia, right? So what do we want? We want Sally to go into the property. We want her to card in and to see something in front of her that she loves, that she really wants. And if we get that level of like resonance, she's going to love that casino and come in every time, no matter what. So that's like where we aim for. How do we get there with AI? There's a number of different ways. All of which are being kind of worked on and rolled out at the moment.
Don't give out the trade secrets.
No, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good.
Have you guys done like the mystery boxes? Have you seen those companies that do the gifting and every month you get like a mystery box, whether it's for like a toddler or whatever it is.
So the interesting thing is we don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Like we actually have no influence on what they give away.
Yeah.
Right. This is the point we say to everyone.
So how does it work then? So you mentioned that Amazon's obviously your ecosystem and they're your call fulfillment partner, however you look at it. So if I'm running the marketing team and I go, look, we know there's going to be roughly 5,000 players qualified for a prize this month. Normally I would spend, call it $15, whatever. Then I don't know if that's a fair number, $15, $20. Do they literally just go on Amazon, choose whatever the hell they want? Or how do they pick their things?
Our system is fully integrated, right? So they go into our system and they can see whatever they want.
But again, so
our systems are integrated into a way where the same way that you would search up for something on Amazon using that search bar, that search bar is actually integrated into our platform. So we've gone on a huge journey over the last 8 or 9 years in order to actually develop that out and bring that to really a casino marketing team. They're able to go in and search for anything, keywords, key terms, blah, 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 or they can ask us to do it. They can give us a theme. They can say, hey, we want kitchenware, $15 to $18. Find me like the top 10 best-selling items. And we really have a mix of like half of our clients love to do it themselves. They want to go in there, they want to search, they want to find the good stuff, and the other half want us to do it. And so we offer that as a service that's included.
Yeah. And the great thing is that we say to all of our customers, when Amazon do 70% off, take it.
Yeah, right.
We don't care.
Yeah,
we're not worrying about margin.
Yeah.
The idea is if you can get bakeware and it's 50% off, like
go for it. Yeah.
And a lot of what we do is we're saying to customers all the time, it's like, it's about being smart. And this hasn't been a smart product for many years. It's been a very manual process, right? Yeah. Everyone who has or is doing it the old school way, right? It is laborious, right? It's like call up the guys, everyone fight over price, give us the best deal, ship it into the warehouse, right? Let's wait till Tuesday and then hand it all out. And to us, it's like the ideology of saying, hey, you can no longer shop online. Now you have to go down the road and you're going to be like, wait, this doesn't
make sense.
So once we install the product, no one goes back.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Because now the possibilities are endless. That's why, there's nothing you can't buy on Amazon is my feeling. Maybe there's things, but like now you go, hey, I wanted to do, you said knives earlier. Maybe that's not the best one for casino security, but like you go, hey, look, there's some
Everybody gets an axe.
Well, my point is, I don't even, maybe that's a good thing. Throwing axe or something. But you go, look, that's not something my local merchandise guy stocks, right? Is my point. So maybe that's not on the thing. Who cares?
We've seen some great ones as well. And if you think, kind of two guys from London trying to conquer the US, when we first started working, especially in Florida, the team is getting calls for hurricane preparedness promotion.
Oh yeah,
and we're like MREs,
we're like
kits,
generators, like
$1,000
portable generators, and like things to do with your house blows away. And we're like, is this real? Is this actually real? It's a big promo. They all turned up for that one.
Wow. Yeah. You wouldn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
But
the generator with the Hard Rock logo on the side.
we know who's got your back now, baby. That's it. So I guess in that vein, are there any other, is that the wildest one you've seen, or what are some of the other fun giftings?
When we first
keep it clean.
Yeah, when we first
or
came,
not, just
when it first came. Look, there are many nuances, as Joe said. Two English guys coming into the US, and then we were thrown into tribal gaming.
Right.
And it was like, this was a whole world that we didn't really understand. And I went to one tribal casino, and they were like, you know what we want? We want guns.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what?
That's one thing Amazon does not have.
Yeah, there you go. You found it. You found it. No fulfillment on guns.
And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They were like, we want to do like hunting week.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll do guns, and we'll do knives, and we'll do like fishing equipment. And I was like, okay.
You're like, knives and fishing gear, probably. Guns are going to be tough.
I'll take 10,000.
I remember coming back, and I remember sitting with the team, and I was like, okay, so guns. and the team were like, no. So we've had some strange ones over the time.
That's amazing. Could you imagine this guy somehow pops up on like the FBI wanted list just because he's trying to help some casino do a gift giveaway?
Why did you buy 10,000?
Yeah, you got some Glock 9s here. What's going? Yeah, exactly. What just happened?
Yeah, but the journey's been great. Like, I think
we're still really like, it feels anyway that we're just in our infancy.
Yeah.
That, a lot of the important kind of tech work and infrastructure that we've had to lay with the different service providers, with an IGT, with Light & Wonder, with Konami, with Every, that's been a lot of work for us.
Right.
And whereas it's not always work that pays off the second that you do it. So these are like big CapEx costs that we have investing into integrations that may not pay off.
But I think
following year.
I think the thing is, because we come from a technology background, right? Because we had made that shift already 10 years ago into technology, and we were integrating into European online rooms, and we were doing things like play up components and this type of stuff. When we came to the US, we were already familiar with it.
Yep.
So it wasn't, the tech has been hard, right? There's been a lot of stuff that we've had to do. And like Joe says, investments that we've had to make in technology, but we were already there. Now, we've started to introduce things like play up components. So now you can come in, you can see the product on the slot. You can see it's, the entry level gift. So come in on a Tuesday, it's slow, but now you can play up, right? So now you can take the $20, or you can keep going. And you can go 20, 50, 100, 200.
So
right?
it reminds me of the carnival. You get the little stuffed animal, and you go, but if you win again, you get two, then you trade it for the bigger.
Correct.
Yeah, that's wild.
And you know what? We launched that with L&W in Seminole Properties, and it was fire.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah. They loved it. And then it was kind of like, okay, well, now we have to do it for everyone.
Yeah, right.
And I think the thing about technology is we're always excited about thinking about how we can make it better. Okay, how can we make it better? So then we did like ways that we can connect it to your mobile, ways that we can start to, and you think about all the things that we've done, right? It's always thinking about technology first and product second.
Yeah, so the trigger for the prize is generally just some alert from the system, right? From the casino. So like I think you said you're integrated with us at L&W. So the L&W system says, yep, Joe's qualified at this level.
Yep.
You don't care how he got there.
Yeah.
Right. And you just know. So I guess for mobile, if they're tying in actions like, hey, open this award every day or play our social game, then you potentially give them points for that. Yeah.
It's more also about like customer experience and journey, like we spoke about. So if you're on a slot machine and let's say you're on one with a small TFT screen, and you are Sally, who's 80, who can't read that great, you may want to hand the whole journey off onto your phone or your iPad where you can actually finish it. So it's interconnectivity like that we've introduced this year. So it doesn't really matter what the profile of the guest
is. So she can go online,
start
at
in one place,
at the house,
finish somewhere else. Just giving that complete like omni-channel, for want of a better word to call it. But the play up that John spoke about is actually like really exciting.
Do you want to do the elevator pitch again?
So launching with
come for round 3.
Soundbite.
I'm here for it.
Technically, it's a lift, but we're doing
not on this side. It's not.
I was going to say, shouldn't say that. But yeah, the progress bar stuff is so cool. So if you imagine, the first one we did in Seminole was for TVs. So it's come in and get a Fire Stick, which was like $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Play up and get the 19-inch TV. Play up again and get the 24, or the 32, or then the 40. And what was the stat that they had to make the count on the floor 3 times that day because it was a record amount of coin for the property.
No one's stopping at 19-inch TV.
No
Like,
one's
I don't care who you are. Yeah, like, your friends would make fun of you if you turned up with a 19-inch TV.
So it's funny, right? But we come back to the same thing, right? Products ancillary.
Yeah.
The technology is what it's been all about.
Yeah.
And that's been our best adversary.
Yeah.
It helps that we have Amazon.
Yeah,
because,
well, I would imagine.
we launched up in Southern California. And
what property?
Grayton.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Northern California.
And
friend
Northern.
of the show.
Northern.
It's
Northern. Oh, Northern. That's it.
Yeah. Northern. Yeah.
California's big
You can
state.
tell where I'm from.
Yeah, it's
Like
okay.
a country.
And it was incredible, right? Average shipping time first week, 1 day, right? 1 day.
That's right.
And we were like,
That's our biggest complaint is guests say you deliver too quick. I'm still at the casino.
Now I gotta know I gotta go home. My Ring doorbell's going off.
Yeah.
Your axe has been delivered.
Didn't want the wife to have that, as it turns out. Yeah, no. That's
What are some other big wins that you get? Did you guys go to IGA
yeah.
this
Sure.
week?
Yeah,
So
we just
what are
come
some
from
big wins that you guys have had? I mean, Grayton's a huge one.
Do you know what I
Five
think?
restaurants.
I would say,
IGA, we just launched, right? We can talk about.
yeah, I think the biggest win
Yeah.
is the conversion.
Yeah.
It's the people that try it. They say, I've heard, like, I want to try, and then they're all in. Right?
This is John's lift pitch. We'll
Yeah.
call it. I like it.
Yeah, this is it, right?
Yeah.
It's that's the biggest success. The biggest success is seeing the fact that we have properties like Hard Rock
Yeah.
that we started with. We did a trial, and then it became 100% of the program.
Yeah.
What we actually don't have right now is halfway houses. We don't have people, right, that tried it, waited, and then are running dual.
Yeah.
Right? Once you try it and it works for you, then why would you have the old way?
Yeah.
So actually, that I think is the most important success story that we carry.
And what does a property need to have
Yeah, like
for
what's
you
the
guys to be
pre-requirement?
integrated into their...
Sure. It depends who their system, their CMS supplier
Right.
really is on the floor. So going back to IGA, in last week we attended there and we launched the Konami product, which is everything we've spoken about on their small true time display screens. That's really the 4th integration that we've brought live in the last 24 months. I think G2E before that we launched Every. IGA before that we launched IGT. So it's been a constant system partner integration roadmap. And that's a really firm strategy that we have. So yeah, I mean, it's just what's next. It's just more.
Yeah, but to answer the question, what do you need?
Yeah.
You need certain technology. You need certain.
You guys are great.
You need certain enhancements, right? So in L&W, you're going to need the latest and greatest. You know, IGT, you're going to need the latest M5 product. So
Syncross, you need the latest 10.3 point something. Right?
yeah, so it's been a real.
So kind of limit your sales a little bit.
It does, but it also increases the opportunities that
For
the system
L&W,
providers.
for
Correct,
Konami,
correct,
yes.
right?
Which is a whole other dynamic of what's going on here.
Yeah, so we've spent a lot of time working with L&W and others and saying like, look, what can we do? And they're like, you know what? Actually, it's a great intro product to say you could have this product if you had the latest technology that we offer.
Right.
So we've seen some real great success stories of properties upgrading their product because they want to get what we have to offer. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you've got the upgrade, if you've got the right tech, we're ready.
List.
Yeah, I'll put my number at the bottom of the screen. Just give me a call.
Flash them.
Can I have that upgrade list?
Yeah.
I think that's the true nature of partnership, though.
Yeah.
Like, we're not just this supplier that's going to deliver some goods. We're actually going to help you sell more systems, help you sell more boards, help your properties upgrade the firmware. So all of these things, I think the higher up in an organization you go, the senior management of Light & Wonder, an IGT, they recognize this really well. So sometimes when we talk to people, you know, maybe on a procurement side, on a marketing side, they may not see the full halo effect of what we're doing.
Right.
So it always helps to go like right to the top and to explain holistically how everything can give you benefit. I'm going to stop selling now.
No, it's a cool product. You guys have really done a good job, and it's one of those products where you're like, why didn't I think of that? You know, and that's when you know you've kind of hit a home run.
Some people claim they have.
You weren't in the right poker room at the right time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we do only run an hour, and we've already gone almost 40 minutes. It goes by pretty quick.
Wow.
It sounds like you guys are gamblers, and so we always like to
Yes.
ask a gambling story. that you guys can share. It could be a big win. It could just be a time that you have.
I'll tell you what story. I got a good story.
Yes.
I got a good story. I came here a few years ago, and Rob Bone was head of systems. Okay, and I love Rob. Shout out to Rob.
They didn't love each other at the time.
Yeah, I didn't love him at the time. He was a disaster, right? But I will tell you the story. So one of the guys in the team was like, "Hey, you know what you need to play? You need to play video poker."
Yeah.
And I played poker, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, what does it do? I'm not really a slot player, right? And he was like, okay, you need to just match it up like poker.
Trying to make your best poker hand.
Yeah, make your best poker hand. It's like, okay, I think I can do this. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, how much do I spend? He's like, put a couple $100 in. So, okay, cool. So I put a couple $100 in, and I'm playing, and I'm playing, and I'm playing. And I'm like, royal flush. I'm like, fuck, this is easy. Like 2K.
Do this every day. Let's go. Yeah.
So I came back in the next day and I said, hey, Rob, I played that game. It's really good. I hit a royal. I hit a royal flush. He was like, you did? He's like, it's not normal. Like I never hit one.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, I went back. We were staying at the Aria at the time. So I went back and I was like, wow, I got like 2K. I was like, okay, like a couple $100. So I'm playing and I'm playing and I'm playing and I'm playing. Royal flush. And I was like, oh snap, this is so easy.
He's got your video poker luck.
So I was like, okay, another 2K, machines flashing now, come up, like hand pay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
like, whoa,
call attendant,
right?
Let's go.
So I was like, cool.
They're gonna pay US taxes.
So then,
you could wave that out.
So then the guy who was next to me, Bill, who works here as well, he was like, oh, come on, we'll go over to the Cosmo. He's like, I got my favorite machine now. I was like, cool. So I went over to the Cosmo. I was like, 4 aces.
Favorite machine.
Right?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did you get a kicker?
4 aces with a low kicker.
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah. Next hand, royal flush. Right? And I was like, 5K. Right? So then he's like, oh, you know what we should play? We should play the $5 game.
No, he didn't. He said, let's go and do one big hand in high limit. And they took you to the high limit one, and they shut the machine down with the first hand you put in. Sorry to interrupt.
So anyway, so I was like 5 days in, and I was like 16K up, right? I hit more royal flushes. I came in to see Rob on the last day, and I was like, Rob, this game's easy. Like, bro, I hit 4 royal flushes. And he was like, are you serious?
He's beside himself.
And I had him on my phone. I was like, yeah, look, here's the one I hit here. Here's the one I hit there. Yeah.
And then Rob probably lost 10 grand that night trying to chase it.
So it's crazy. So that was the story. So
I'll just say though, I made you spend the money on your wife.
Yeah, he did.
See,
yeah, he did.
Good friend will keep you married.
A good friend will keep you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got one for you. There's something called the football pools over in the UK, which is like a pooled event where, and it's culturally, it's been going on probably for 100 years, right? Yeah. You have, I think, a selection of 10 soccer matches, and you have to say like win, lose, or draw for these certain amount of games. And it's a really small amount. It's like, £1 to play, $1 to play. But you can win $1 million if you get absolutely everything right. It's like a big parlay, right?
Yeah, it's like a lottery almost.
It's like a lottery that's played in a pool, but they'll announce the results on local TV, and it's very much like ingrained into the fabric of our society. And so I thought, I'm going to have a crack at this. It was many, many years ago. Put my $20 in and pick my teams, and the games are played over a Saturday and over a Sunday, and the prize pool was like 1.8 million. So Saturday comes and goes. I'm in front of the TV. I'm reading all the things off. I've won like the first 5 games. I've got them all completely right. I can't believe it. This is amazing. Can't sleep at all Saturday night. I think I'm on the phone to him like, you don't understand. Tomorrow it starts early. We've got this game.
We're right. We went a ton of money. Yeah.
This is going to be it now. No more toasters. But it came up to like the Sunday, and the games are going on. And I'd won all of them. I'd got like 9. I can't remember how many there were, but it was all down to this kind of last game. And I remember watching it by myself. I needed a certain score. I needed a draw. And in the last second of the game, one of the teams equalizes and it finishes a draw. And I've gone absolutely nuts. My T-shirt's gone off. I'm swinging around the head. I'm running around the room like a nutter. I've won 1.8 million quid. Like, this is a great day. The Lambo's coming. Everything's good, right? So I'm immediately on customer service on their chat. Like, where's the money? What's going on? How much have I got? Yeah. They said, well, it's a pooled event, so we have to wait until everything closes, and you'll get it announced tomorrow with your share of the winnings. I thought, share of the winnings? Well, if there's multiple winners, you get your share of the jackpot. So how many other people have won this event? like 1,400 people or God knows how many.
Wow.
So the next day I got $800 and I was so upset.
Was it that predictable? I feel like it's hard to pick the right 10 or 12 outcomes.
You had already ordered the Lambo.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Cancel that order.
But no, it was like I was up
Cancel the
here.
Lambo. Not even.
It felt like a loss. It felt like a loss.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
$100,
sure.
but last time I played that, that's it. Now I just watch him. That's much better entertainment.
Well, he's winning, so it's a good.
You
it's
still
a good
play
watch.
video poker?
I play it all the time now.
You still get the royals?
No, I've never hit a royal
Donating.
since.
Yeah, now he's one of us. He's
Yeah.
just losing consistently.
But when we did go back to the Cosmo, the actual machine he was playing on for video poker, the whole bank had gone. They'd reconfigured the whole floor. Something
Some British guy came in and
He
took
likes
us
to
down.
say that,
Yeah, that's
You're
hilarious.
just win and go.
Yeah.
Just winning. Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's what
It
they
was
call it.
gift and go. Get out of the casino.
Yeah, gift and
So,
get
so
them
how
on.
can people find you guys
Yeah, what's
if
the-
they want to?
Is it just as simple as giftandgo.com or
Yeah.
what are we looking at here?
Yeah, giftandgo.com. Or they can go to their CMS provider
Yep.
and
Yeah, it
just
sounds like it's actually probably just call, whomever your systems person is.
yeah, they probably had me call about 700,000 times.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
right.
probably like, no, I don't want to.
Don't send it. They found us. We don't need to find them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it takes sometimes. Well, it's been fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Great.
swinging
Thanks
by.
for
Thanks for
having
making the
us.
time. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right on.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.